What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today, guys, we are here to dive deep inside the mind of Coffin Joe. That is right, guys. I have this special collector's edition Blu-ray box set of Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe from Arrow Video. This thing was supposed to come out back in November. It got delayed. It came out on January the 16th, and now I have it right here in my possession to talk about with you guys. So I could have got this unboxing out a few days ago. I've been sitting on this for about 6 or 7 days, but I wanted to actually dive into the set and experience at least a couple of the films before I got on here and talked about it, familiarize myself with the set and Coffin Joe and the history of this guy that created this character that became a Brazilian horror icon. So we're going to talk about some of the films that I watched, some other aspects of this release. I'll go ahead and say this up front. There are problems here. There are problems with this release that we are going to address in this video today. So I wanted to really familiarize myself with this set, dive into Coffin Joe, learn about Coffin Joe before I got on here to talk about the set. I want to do that more in 2024, guys. I feel like way too often I get on camera and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I don't know what the hell this is, but let's go unbox it. I feel like I do that too much. I want to actually know at least somewhat what I'm talking about. Now, of course, I did not watch all 11 of these films, okay, guys? If I did that, you wouldn't have got this video until like March or April. There's a lot of content in this set, a lot of special features, all that kind of stuff. But I will say, though, this says 11 films. There are 11 films in this set, but one of them is really kind of a glorified special feature. And it's actually on the disc with the first film, At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, and that is The Strange World of Jose Manzico Marins, who is the guy that the actual director and writer and star of these films that created the character of Coffin Joe that he also plays. So that's a documentary on that guy, his upbringing, and it's a good documentary. I watched probably about 30 minutes of that, and it kind of goes into his whole backstory. He grew up in a movie theater. Like, his family was obsessed with movies, mom, dad, like really supportive of him growing up. So I actually thought that was really cool, especially like how sick and like twisted and demented his films are. The fact that he had what seemingly a pretty normal like upbringing with very caring parents. I find that to be pretty interesting, but that just goes to show you that it doesn't really matter. You can have the most caring upbringing, but you're going to make some real sick films anyway, because you just have that darkness within inside you, no matter like what your surroundings were. So I thought that was pretty cool. This guy is like the equivalent of a Freddy Krueger, a Jason Voorhees, a Michael Myers in Brazil, and we're just now experiencing his films in the US. I'm pretty sure this is the first time his films have been put out on any sort of physical media in the US. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some bootleg DVDs or VHSs from back in the day. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure for the first time ever, these movies are being distributed in the US. So that is definitely pretty cool and something to celebrate for sure. I will also note that this is currently going for $76.99, which is why I want to get this video out as quickly as possible and not wait until April or May, because $76.99 because of that Barnes & Noble Arrow Video sale that's going on right now. So if you want this, I would pick it up now, because I think in a couple of weeks when that sale goes away, this thing will shoot back up over $100. Probably won't go like past 110, I would say, but it'll go back over 100, maybe 120. So for 11 films, $76.99, that is not a bad price at all. And this is really, we'll do a real in-depth boxing, guys, here in a second at the unboxing table, but this is a beautiful box set. This is some of Arrow Video's best work, in my opinion. So Coffin Joe, like I said, like I alluded to, this is a Brazilian horror filmmaker who wrote, starred in, directed all of his films, which is definitely really cool. Like, he directed other films other than horror movies. He did some short films, some other films before he made what would be the first horror movie ever in Brazil, which is At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. So he is responsible for the first horror movie ever that was made in Brazil. And after that, he became a horror icon. He created this entire character of Coffin Joe, a returning character in all of his films. Now, I will say, I think, I haven't watched all these movies, but from what I can gather, Coffin Joe, the character, shows up in all of his films. Maybe there's one or two where he doesn't, but I think Coffin Joe shows up in all of his films. So he really is like the Michael Myers of his own franchise, even though I think only At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, The Night I'll Possess Your Corpse and Embodiments of Evil, which he actually made in 2008. So I think it was like 40 years removed from the first one. It's a very older Coffin Joe, but those are like a trilogy. So I think those are connected story-wise. I don't know if all the other films are connected story-wise, or if it's just like a returning character that comes back, and they're all different. It's kind of like an anthology with one returning character of Coffin Joe. So that's definitely really cool. But like I said, I dipped my toes into this box set. I didn't dive fully into the box set. I'm definitely excited though to dive into more of his films. At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, it was a good movie. You could tell he was very inspired by, you know, the horror films of like the 30s and the 40s, like the monster movies, the creature features from that era. And of course he grew up in a cinema, so I'm sure he watched a lot of that stuff growing up. You could just tell he was heavily inspired by that, but some of the choices that he makes, his directing style, like it's very like jarring, and it's very like jump cutty. It's very like close-ups on the faces, and you can tell that he's trying to disorient you while you're watching his film. So I did think that that was kind of interesting, the way that he directed. And there's some really like gruesome imagery in his movies. There's a lot of themes of sadomasochism, and you know, he's really a sadist. Like he's a self-proclaimed sadist. So there's a lot of really mature material in his film, some stuff that may shock you, that may gross you out, that may make you feel very uncomfortable, but that's just what Coffin Joe is all about. So I liked it. Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. It kind of follows the character of Coffin Joe, what really is kind of his origin story, I guess. You know, he has a wife that can't bear him a child, so he has to figure out a way to get rid of her and try to find a new woman that can bear him a child in the town. And he's really just like terrorizing everybody in this village the whole movie. And he kind of gets his comeuppance at the end. And I do want to watch the one that comes after, because I think that's kind of a direct continuation of At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. But it's a good movie, and Jose, I have to keep looking at the box, guys. Jose Manzico Marins plays the part very well. He's very good in the role of Coffin Joe. So I also did watch, of course, the documentary. That's the other movie that I kind of dove into to really kind of get his backstory. Didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a good chunk of it to kind of get an idea of where he came from and what he was all about. Seems like a really good guy, though. You know, just makes really sick, messed up movies, but he seems like a cool dude. And the other one I'll watch, and I watched this one specifically because I had heard that there was a problem with it. I watched The Awakening of the Beast. So I did not get all the way through this film either, because, and shout out to Gore Forever, I believe, on Instagram. He was the one that first put this up on his Instagram page and tipped me off about it, tipped us all off about it. But all of these movies, you know, are subtitled because, of course, they were made in Brazil. So I believe the language that they use is Portuguese. I could be wrong in that, but it's a foreign language, and all the movies are in that language. So you need subtitles to be able to watch them unless you speak that language. Well, in The Awakening of the Beast, somewhere around the 33-minute mark, the subtitles just go away. And they never come back like the rest of the movie. And I tried to keep on watching it and just kind of gather what it was about. But I just couldn't do it. And I felt like I was missing too much. Now, I did fast forward a little bit. That's a very, like, weird movie. Like, that one was just, like, all over the place. And that was actually the first one that I watched. So I was like, what the hell is this guy all about? Like, what is up with these movies? You don't even see Coffin Joe until, like, the 45-minute mark, 50-minute mark. So it's black and white. The first movie, At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, is black and white too. And I think his first few films are black and white, and then it goes to color. He's got color and black and white all throughout his filmography. But this movie, The Awakening of the Beast, is in black and white, and then it shifts to color, and there's some really messed up stuff. I watched a few of the scenes in the later part of the movie just because I kept like going ahead and seeing if the subtitles ever came back. They never did. And it was just some wild stuff that was going on. Coffin Joe was there. And what this one is it was kind of like an anthology, the way they set it up. It was these 4 psychiatrists that were like sitting around a table, like exchanging stories, like really messed up stories that I guess they had read about in like the newspaper or something. And then they would cut to showing these stories, and there was just some really like messed up out there stuff that was going on that I was like, oh my God, like what is this movie? Like I couldn't figure out what the hell I was watching. But anyway, The Awakening of the Beast, it drops the subtitles. It does not have subtitles after 33 minutes, which pretty much makes it a useless movie. Like, if you don't speak that language, you can't watch it. So I have to imagine, though, I'm going to strike that as a negative in this box set for sure, because that's a big negative to have in this box set. But I know that Arrow Video, when they figure it out, when they get enough complaints, they will launch a disc replacement program. We will get another disc. It sucks that, you know, we have to go through the process of all that for sure, but they'll make it right. I'm not worried about that. So, you know, if you want to go ahead and get it now, like I said, for the cheaper price, I'm sure they're going to do a disc replacement program. You'll have to send the disc or show them proof of purchase or whatever to get that disc replacement, whatever Arrow does. To be honest, it's been a while, I feel like, since Arrow has had a disc replacement program. Was that like, I think it was maybe 12 Monkeys or something was the last one that had that disc replacement. Maybe there was another one, but I feel like it's been a while since Arrow Video has done a disc replacement program. But that is the one big glaring negative with this box set. So yeah, but that movie is super messed up, The Awakening of the Beast. I have to continue it. I have to finish it at some point. So I do need that disc so I can actually watch it and enjoy it with the subtitles. So, all right, guys, I talked about this set enough. Let's go to the unboxing table and get into this thing. I know you can't wait to see what is inside this nice, big, chunky box set. Let's go. All right, guys. So we are going to take the full tour of this amazing box set right now. I love this. The thing about Joe Coffin, or the guy that plays him, he kept these long ass fingernails like well into his 50s and 60s, because some of the footage they were showing in the documentary, like he still had these long fingernails that he grew out for this role. So I thought that was pretty wild that he did that. But you see the image of Coffin Joe right there with the long fingernails. You flip it on the other side though, you just have him pointing at you with one of the long fingernails, which I think is pretty damn cool. How it kind of looks similar, but you know, different looks of Coffin Joe, different things that he's doing with his hands. So definitely really cool. And then on the side, you have all the movies, you know, from beginning to end. At Midnight, I'll Take Your Soul. This Night, I'll Possess Your Corpse. The Strange World of Coffin Joe. The Awakening of the Beast. The End of Man. When the Gods Fall Asleep. The Strange Hostel of Naked Pleasures. Hellish Flesh. Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind. Embodiment of Evil. And The Strange World of Jose Mazica Marin. So very cool stuff, guys. Let's go ahead and take the top off. This is a top loading set, as a lot of the Arrow Video releases tend to be. I know that's how they did the, you know, of course, the famous Enter the Video Store set. Recently, the Chucky set as well. But unlike the Chucky set, you don't have to worry about, you know, the little envelope cases. These are actual like Blu-ray cases. So I'll put the booklet to the side here. I'll set these over there to the side. Let's show you all what's inside this. Once you take the top off, you have an image of a woman with some spider legs coming out of her. It looks like topless woman with chains and stuff. I have a feeling these movies, I probably watched the tamest movie with that Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. I have a feeling, just based on that movie, these movies probably go in some very wild directions. I did not get the feeling from that film that Coffin Joe holds back at all in his film. So yeah, look on the inside. You just have the white on the inside, no artwork on the inside, but nice clean white interior. All right, so we'll start to work through these. Or do you want to take a look at the booklet real quick? I'm asking you guys as if you have a choice, as if you're able to answer me when I pre-record this a couple days before I actually put it out. And then you got the poster right here, which just has the two images from the box set of Coffin Joe, which I showed off, but cool to have them in poster form. And then you got a booklet right here, Coffin Joe Against the World. Some really cool artwork right there. Yeah, Against the World. Like, Brazil did not like the fact that he was making films like this. Like, he was really a renegade filmmaker, a revolutionary filmmaker for the time. You know, so he had a lot of balls to make the kind of films that he was making in Brazil at this time. So that is why he is revered and as famous as he is. So just kind of flipping through this. I know we're probably going to get some gnarly imagery. So I'll kind of flip through it really fast. But there's a lot of really good information. I read some of this book, some of the beginning. A lot of really good information on Coffin Joe in this booklet. So yeah, I love the fact that Arrow Video includes these nice little detailed booklets. But let's go ahead and get into every single Blu-ray case. This first one you have At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. And then on the side, and these have reversible cover arts as well. Flip it and it's another movie. because this is pretty much 2 movies on each disc in this box set. All right, so take a look at the back, the contents of the packaging. And this is the one that has that documentary in it. They actually put the documentary, which is shown as the last film in this box set, they lumped that in with this one, which I kind of found odd that they didn't just put this one in with The Strange World of Jose Manzica Marins, and maybe they just put this by itself. I don't know. That kind of seemed a little odd to me. But at Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, The Strange World of Jose Manzica Marins. You got a couple of cards in here, which are pretty cool. So they even have a second movie in here, but that's not the one that's lumped in with the disc. So it kind of just feels a little awkward the way they put the movies together. But I thought this is pretty cool. It's like a, I don't know if it's like a card, because he's an undertaker. That's what his character is at the beginning of At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. So I wonder if this is kind of like a funeral home undertaker card. Here, take my card. I'm a good undertaker. Trust me. I'll embalm you so good, it's not even funny. All right, let's, but showing you the disc art real quick. You got both the films on this disc art. And then we'll flip this. And this is the artwork for the documentary. Bam, bam, bam. Flip that. I'm pretty sure it's all the same information, even though, because they include both the information from both films on the back of this. All right, put that to the side. Get into the next one. This is a 6-disc set, so we have 6 cases to go through. With the only one that's by itself is Embodiment of Evil. But The Night I'll Possess Your Corpse on the back right here. Got some information, special features. I mean, this thing is loaded with plenty of new special features, commentaries, the works. Like, the one thing I'll say about the commentaries, though, is there's a lot of them with the actual director doing the commentary, so you can't even listen to them. That's my problem. Unless there's some subtitles that I was missing, but that's kind of another big problem. The Strange World of Coffin. Okay, so these don't line up either. This is kind of strange, you know. And you could just tell that, like, even Arrow, like when they were putting these cards in, they thought it should have been lined up like this. The Strange World of Coffin Joe, Awakening of the Beast should have been together, because This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse should have been with Embodiment of Evil on the same disc. So, yeah, even Arrow Video thought that should have been the case, the way they put the cards in there. But anyway, it's not something that ruins the box set, but it is just kind of a misaligning of the movies. Kind of confusing when you're diving into it. And I'll also go ahead and point out there is some damage here on my cases that I found. I'm pretty sure they tried to shove these in the case a little bit too hard. One of them's really bad. This one isn't too bad. But, you know, I do get this as a review copy. I didn't pay for this, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. But hopefully nobody else that actually does pay their hard-earned money for this set has this happen to them. And I even got a comment like a couple of weeks ago on one of my, I think it was my Chucky unboxing, my Child's Play Arrow Video unboxing, which I actually paid for that. And they were like, of course you get a perfect set, because I guess there were some problems with like the edges like aligning on it or something. They're like, of course you get a perfect set. Arrow Video sends it to you. Well, look, this is proof that Arrow Video sent me something to show off and review, and it's not perfect. It's messed up. So there you go. Okay, so I already did the reversible artwork. Let's throw that to the side. We got the Awakening of the Beast right here. Great artwork on this one. I love the artwork on that. Very cool. And when you actually put these in to watch them, it will show you the first film, The Awakening of the Beast, and then you can go to, it actually has the title card screen for The Awakening of the Beast, and then you can switch it and it'll change the screen. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's been releases that have done that in the past, but all right. So yeah, this one's wild. Like, that movie is wild. And all of these are brand new 4K scans as well on Blu-rays, and they looked beautiful, the ones that I saw. So they actually did a really good job on the scans. I guess I should have pointed that out as well. But I am now, you know, trying to give you all as much information on this set as I possibly can. The End of Man, really good artwork on that as well. And I'll try to, you know, move through these in a way where you guys can pause them if you want. Check out more details. Right here, we got Hostel of Naked Pleasures. Ooh la la. Maybe this is the one I should watch next, you know? Really cool how they just like put Coffin Joe just randomly in some of the shots in the artwork. That's awesome. Continuing the Blackley comic trajectory. So I guess he kind of got a little bit comedic with his films at a certain point, because some of these they're calling a black comedy. Yeah, I am really like, you know, interested in diving into more of these films. I'll definitely check out a couple of more probably, and when I do, I'll give you my thoughts. But I just wanted to get this unboxing out as quickly as I could, while still, you know, trying to go through a little bit of it. All right, so the other film in this is When the Gods Fall Asleep. Like I said, the cards are completely misaligned in the wrong cases because you didn't put them together right, Arrow. Come on now, you delayed this and then you put it out and the movies aren't aligned right on the disc and frickin' subtitles dropping. Like, what's going on? Come on, Arrow. I talk you up all the time and you're making me look bad here. When the Gods Fall Asleep. Great artwork on that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right, let me put these back in there. Throw that to the side. This one we got Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind. And bam, bam. Cool stuff. Hellish Flesh. And we have Embodiment of Evil right here in this one. I'm going to have to switch these cards up at some point. I should have done that while I was doing this, but I didn't think to do it. All right. Hellish Flesh. That looks pretty damn wild right there. Bam, bam, bam. All right, and let's see. Oh, this one right here. I forgot to mention this one, but The Strange World of Coffin Joe. So there's The Strange World of Coffin Joe, and then there's The Strange World of Jose Mozico Marins, which is the documentary. This is actually an anthology film, which I thought was pretty cool. I think there's 3 stories in this one. So that's why it has the Coffin Joe title. I just wanted to note that real quick. And then we got The Embodiment of Evil. Great artwork on this. And this is the one where it's kind of really messed up down there at the bottom. The artwork on my front cover was actually kind of ripped. But yeah, this one came out in 2008, so this is a pretty recent one. And from what I was watching in one of the special features, like this is pretty much Coffin Joe's answer to the Saw franchise, the Saw and Hostel franchise. So this is the most like, this is like his version of torture porn, is The Embodiment of Evil. So this one's pretty damn gnarly from what I was seeing and some of the images and the clips. All right. Bam, look at that artwork. Great artwork. Look at that. Look at those nails just grabbing the boobs. Look at that. And then we got the documentary is on here. So the documentary should have been by itself on a disc. But I guess that was, you know, because it's only an hour long, I guess they didn't want to waste a whole disc for an hour-long documentary. But they could have lumped a lot of the special features on that as well. But there you go, guys. That's the box set. There, like I said, there are some issues here with the Awakening of the Beast. You know, the subtitles drop off. But in the cases, they just aren't aligned the way I think that they should be, the actual movies. I don't know why they jumped all the movies and put the documentary on the first film, but they did that. So there are some issues. It's not a perfect box set, but it's a pretty damn cool box set, and I am happy to have it in the collection. I am excited to dive more into the filmography of Coffin Joe. It's very awesome that we're experiencing horror from an entirely other country that we've never got to experience before in the U.S. I think that's pretty damn cool. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos. And I will link this down below in the description, guys. The Amazon link and also the Barnes & Noble link if you want to use that as well. And I'll see you guys later.